Okay. So what I decided to do today to start with is, first off, those of you that have been practicing, whether it was just introduced to you last time, or you've been practicing for a few months, or you've been practicing for a few years. I'd like a little bit of feedback from some people too, because sharing also helps everyone else understand that, yes, we all can do this. And, if I can do it, you can do it too. So I'd love to hear some feedback on some of the things that you have done, whether you've gotten rid of headaches or some aches or pains, calm some emotions, whatever it is, whatever you are willing to share. Let's do a little bit of that, please.
And if you don't want to do it verbally, you can also type it in and I'll read that for everyone.
Well, I just finished part one, just in time for this, and I thought it was amazing.
Oh, cool.
Great.
So you felt the energy?
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, are you, okay, so your name is Sue, am I saying your name right?
Susie.
Susie, welcome, Susie. Are you a part of the Way to Balance? This is or is this completely your first experience?
First experience with Energy of Life, but I did hear Aaron's program that he did for the Dowsers, and I was quite appreciative of all the work he did for everyone.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Yes. So, as we said in that one, we'll say it again now, and we'll probably say it every time we do something, is practice, 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 because, I did not start out doing what I do. I had to just allow it to come into me and to flow as it was guided. And it was baby steps. So I started out with pulling the energy in and sending it through the body, just as we did in the first episode of this. And then it started to develop my intuition, my healing gifts, everything manifested the more I did it. And then, of course, when I started doing it more with, because I wasn't doing it with all of my clients, it would be a few clients that the energy would just come through on its own. And then I started using it with more and more. And of course, in my case, if you're doing it every day, 5 days a week, because you're working with people, it manifests in your body and awakens things a lot faster. So as as I have mentioned, getting up in the morning, spending 15-20 minutes, moving the energy, getting connected, because it is activating every cell in your body. Anytime during the day for a little quick something to get an answer to help you with something. But again, if you have 15-20 minutes at night before you go to sleep, that is another good time to just kind of sit with it, allow it to flow through your body, take the stress out so you can get a good night's sleep. And so there is no wrong way, as long as you're doing it. So 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there, it doesn't make a difference. Just continue to use it, and it will grow and grow and grow. All right. So anyone?
And I listened to part one 1 day ago, and I felt very good as I did it. And so it is something that I wish to continue.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So,
Laura,
oh,
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
so Aaron, I've been with you and with you and Sue, and now Claudia is on board. And I thank you guys for all the sharing that you do with your gifts. And I started out several years ago not fully feeling the flow and everything, and now a couple of months ago I saw a lump on the side of my neck, and I told Aaron this, and the first you know, of course, the first reaction was I was nervous, but then I thought, all right, I'll do the EOL flow. I did it for like half an hour, and it was visible in the mirror. And it was probably like a marble size. And after half an hour, it was probably half the size.
Okay. Wow.
I just focused on it and asked for it to be released. And now, I mean, today I can't even feel it. So, and I did it several days consecutively, probably more than a week, working on it and um, focusing on it and focusing on the release
Mm.
and the thankfulness too. So it's amazing. And I work with it every day, like Aaron suggested.
All right.
Thank you. That's truly inspiring. Inspired me. I'm like,
Well-
am I slacking?
Not at
No.
all.
That's freaking beautiful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Susan. Okay,
Oh, I wanted to answer Laura's question because Laura says she can't find the part one. What you could do is just send a quick email to info@thewaytobalance and we'll get that to you tomorrow.
okay. All right, so we're gonna go back to the beginning. As I said, when I first started doing this, just to repeat for some of you, you know, I didn't feel energy unless it dropped on my foot or burned me. So, you know, to be where I am now is a miracle in itself. But one of the first things I did was I started learning how to adjust my spine. And I would put myself on a massage. I had a couple of massage tables. So I put one on my body on the massage table in my apartment. And I would just lay there and ask my body, you know, what position, using the energy of life, I'd ask my body what position it needed to be in order to adjust my back or my neck. And visualizing that position, or sometimes just moving my body or my body moving me into that position, I would get there, hold the position, take 3 or 4 deep breaths, and I could feel the vertebrae move. Now, sometimes it was a click, like an adjustment that you would expect from being adjusted by a chiropractor or someone. Other times it just kind of slipped into place, and I'd get up from the table and whatever tension I had in my body was gone. So that is what I'd like to work with today, to help you all learn how to adjust your own spine. Okay, and not only the spine. I mean, we can have a lot of things that are out of alignment, not just the spine, but we tend to focus there because, you know, that's where we usually have the most pain when things are misaligned. We have the awareness that takes us there. So one of the things that happens to a lot of people is they put their first rib out of alignment. So the rib is behind the collarbone. So when we go over the collarbone and go into that little divot right there, that is the first rib. When we come under the collarbone, you're actually pressing on the second rib. Now, we put the rib out by overextending our arms for long periods of time, like having the mouse way out in front of us and the shoulder comes forward. When we were younger, let's say carrying a baby on the hip or carrying the car seat, all of that brings the shoulder forward. Carrying a basket or especially an armload of clothing to the washer.
Walking your dog.
Walking your dog, the dog will help you there, of course. Put the rib out, because if you got one that pulls and your arm is out in front of you for a period of time, that will happen. And the first thing I learned with that was positioning is important. So I'm going to take you all through the position to not only realign that rib, but also to take any tension out that might be in those muscles around that area, as well as some of that in the back of the shoulder. So let's all start with the right shoulder. So my right is actually, it's probably going to look like left to you as I'm pointing, but your right shoulder.
So for, excuse me, for those who are still new to this, to activate the UL.
Oh yeah, let's do that. All right, so let's activate the energy of life for everyone. So everyone turn your palms up. Take a few breaths, drawing the energy in through your palms, up your arms, into your head, neck, and shoulders. And of course, exhaling it down through your body and out your feet. And some of you, it will go completely through the body in just a couple of breaths. And it will take 3 or 4 breaths and sometimes more for people that are new to it. And one thing about the energy of life, when this was happening to me in the very beginning back in 94, one of the things that came to me was that remembering the old ways. It was something that reverberated through my body as I was working on someone, and my body shook, and I said, it was like it's like a nervous vibrating voice, but it was like, remember the old ways. And I said that several times. And the energy of life is one of the old ways of healing. So we are learning something that has been, let's say, lost for thousands of years, and it's coming back to us.
For the person who just walked in, what we're doing is we have our hands up and just receiving the energy of life healing process. We're going to be working on structural today. Okay.
All right, so remembering the old ways has manifested in a lot of different ways for me, not only the energy of life healing process, but of course all of the rings of Odin, the biomorphic geometry. Recently we taught a class on working with numbers, just single digit numbers, and how powerful they are. So all of this is about working with energy and information that's been lost. So we're bringing the old ways back to today's world. All right, so everyone at this point should have the energy flowing through. So take a deep breath or two, bring it in through your hands, up through your arms, all the way to the top of your head. Exhale it down through the body, and we will begin with the alignment of the first rib.
There's like 6 or 7.
All right. So first rib again, behind the collarbone. Second rib is under the collarbone. Now, so what we'll do is use your right shoulder, take your right shoulder up. So you're not trying to put it in your ear, you're just taking it up gently, and then roll it, kind of take it behind you, like you'd roll it behind you like you were doing yoga. So up and back, No strain, just a gentle hold. Now use the energy of life. Ask the energy of life to realign that first rib and remove the tension from that shoulder and neck area. Now use your own intuition. Use the energy of life to know how long to hold that shoulder up and back. Now, for some of you, that will mean, oh, I need to do it for 30 seconds. I need to do it for a minute, minute and a half, however, or whatever means you have are determining that, or you just have that knowing that, oh, I'm done. And then you bring the shoulder back down to its normal position. Another way of doing it when you're holding that shoulder back there is to count. Just start counting 1, 2, 3. And as you go up, let's say you get 12, 15 or something, you will have like a knowing. So you're kind of using the numbers, the counting as a means of not keeping time, but a means of focusing. Then once you bring that shoulder back down, kind of move it around, take it forwards, backwards, and turn your head a little bit. And see how that might be different. A little looser, a little lighter. All right, let's go ahead and do the left side. So same thing, raise that left shoulder up, roll it back behind, hold gently, ask the energy of life to help release that muscle tension and align your first rib. And again, you can look at a clock. If whatever minutes comes to you, you can count, you can have a knowing. Just use your intuition, however you want to call that. And of course, when you feel it is complete, bring that shoulder back down, roll it a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, stretch it a little bit, turn your head. And ideally that will be looser in your neck and shoulders.
Just came in.
All right, so let's get some comments. What did you notice when you used the EOL to align your first rib? What did it feel like? Could you?
It felt like when we did it on the right side, my left thumb sort of started shaking, and that was neat. And then on the left side, I felt the tension release in like almost immediately. It felt incredible. So that was really cool.
Thank you, Laura.
Mm-hmm. Now remember, you don't always have both sides misaligned, so there can be quite a difference. And also, I'm right-handed, so I put most of my tension in my right side. And you will find the same, that you will put, most of the time, you will put more in your working side, if you're left-handed versus being right-handed. But it's also sometimes we do things with, even if it's not our dominant hand, that may be the shoulder we carry a bag on, or carry things heavy like groceries because we got the right hand free to, use a key in the car or the door or something. All right, so someone else, what did you notice?
Go right
I
ahead.
I had, when I did both sides, I had release on the left side mid-back where I got tightness from an old automobile accident. So I got some good release just doing it both sides.
Okay, good, good. Yes, when you take your shoulder back, you shorten those muscles between the shoulder blade and the spine, and that gives them an opportunity to relax. And then, of course, using the energy of life, it's working on that whole area, the muscles on top of and underneath the shoulder blade. All right, great.
Thank you.
You will probably also hear us say a few times that we like easy, and this is pretty easy. All right, someone else?
Oh, PJ, are you talking? I can't hear you. I see your mouth going though.
Mute. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. I don't feel like my first rib was unaligned. However, I didn't really feel a release, but I felt more relaxed and like I had a little more range of motion. But I do feel like I have a misaligned rib, like under my scapula, maybe a couple under that. And how do you do that?
Okay, we're gonna get there.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank
That's
you.
Good question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
PJ, were you trying to say something?
Sure. Yes, like the two of them, I also have a pain from car accident under my scapula on the right side. And doing this, working on this misalignment had me more aware of that and thinking, ooh, I hope we can get to this as well. But the odd thing that I with this release on both sides was that I yawned a lot while doing it, which I wasn't before or after. But there was something about it that was causing a relaxation in my body, in more of my body than just the first rib.
Yes. And remember, when we are positioning that shoulder, we're affecting a lot of muscles there. So when you take the shoulder back, you're getting some a little bit of pulling in the pec muscles all through the neck. We're shortening a lot of muscles back there behind the shoulder. Even your lats are down the side a little bit is being affected. Now, you don't have to do this, let's say, oh, I don't have a first rib out, so I won't do it. No, just think of it as all of those muscles can be loosened. So this is not just about the first rib. This is about, because sometimes, that's just where we put our attention.
Mhm.
And if you can do something that easy to get some of that neck and shoulder tension out, yes. So think of it as that, not just for the first rib. All right.
And PJ, I'm glad you mentioned the yawning because a couple of things. One, when you're releasing, it's still a frequency letting go. So it has to come out somehow. So everyone's different in how they release. The other thing is sometimes you'll also be moving emotions. Emotions can get stuck just about anywhere in the muscles, the tendons. When you're releasing tension, don't be surprised if you get some people get emotional, just like when some people get a massage, they start crying on the table. So that is what you're also potentially doing, is moving emotion that's just been lodged in there and sometimes can just exacerbate an injury or something. So again, it could be anger, sadness, fear, and guilt. So just when that happens, when it comes and you feel it, ask the EOL to just kind of help it move it along.
Good points. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, so everyone take your arms, if you're sitting, hopefully you're sitting in a chair. So we're going to do both arms at the same time. Make it easy, make it a little faster. Let your arms dangle if you can. Just let them hang straight down. Now, some years ago, my mother visited, and the doctor had told her that she had arthritis in her hands because she had pain when she would try to open a jar, a car door, the door to the house. And what I found was she had her first ribs misaligned, her elbows were misaligned, her wrist, as well as a couple carpal bones. So I helped her get all of that back into alignment, and that very day she could open any jar, any door. It was the compression of the bones that happened due to the misalignment when she grabbed onto something. So when you hang your arms straight at your sides, again, you just kind of allow and ask the energy of life to release the muscle tension from your arms and realign your elbows, wrists, and bones in your hands, if there are any. And otherwise, it just lets go of tension. So you just let that tension drain right out of your palms, out of your fingertips. So, when I look at arthritis, I look at it first from a physical point of view. Is there a misalignment? And if there's not a misalignment, are the muscles just too tight from overworking over the years? Because we don't always get all that tension out. When, in the past, it was always people who did a lot of hand work. So this was, knitting, sewing, anything of that nature. In some families, mom was always doing everything. So they would get arthritis because things would get misaligned, muscles would get overworked. Men would be carpenters and, swinging a hammer, turning a wrench on vehicles and things like that when it was all by hand. But we can get a lot of that tension out just by letting it literally drain and asking the energy of life to help it drain right on down and out your palms or your fingers, however it needs to go. Now rotate your hands. So rotate your hands in and out. So your palms forward, and then rotate your palms back and as far as they'll go, just a couple of times. That helps with any little misalignment. And open your palms all the way and close and open and close as you are rotating. All right.
I'm just gonna demonstrate this because it's not that. Okay, so basically, let's see how he was doing. So he was just opening up, going side to side. Oh, that feels good. Okay, there we go.
All right. I kind of get a sense that anyone that did have something misaligned, everyone is back in alignment. But let's do a little quick check-in. What did you notice with that? Could you feel the energy draining? Are your arms more relaxed?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
My
I felt
hands
like it was
really,
really
really
pouring out of my hands.
Okay.
Anyone else? Sorry, I missed that.
Yes, and I had a lot of yawning at the same time.
That's awesome. Yep. You might
Yes.
also cough or
Mhm.
might see me cry. Sometimes I let go emotionally.
All right. Of course, the more time you spend with something like that, the more tension you get out. And a lot of times what will happen is there might be some old memories in there that go back to your childhood, teens, 20s, whatever. And if there's emotional energy stuck in those, because let's say you were clenching your fist or something, that will release and everything will get lighter. All right. Now, let's move along to the spine. So everyone sit up straight. Use your intuition, use the energy of life to help guide you down your spine. So just in your mind's eye, the first thing is C1. That is literally kind of shaped like a little shallow bowl. It's also called the atlas because the atlas holds your head in place. It's kind of like Atlas holding up the world. Okay. Now you can just simply ask through intuition, is my atlas misaligned? Or you might just have a feeling, a knowing. If you've been getting headaches, if you get a little lightheaded when you get up from a chair sometime, that's an indicator that your atlas is misaligned.
On polarity, if they're asking. No?
No.
Okay, oh,
All right. Now, when I was teaching myself how to do this, what I did was I sat up straight like I'm asking you to do, and then asked my body to go into the position that it needs to be in to realign my atlas. And sometimes my head would just turn to the right, turn to the left. My chin might drop. And ideally, you want to be very relaxed so you can allow, you're not trying to lock into position and hold and control. Let your body be fluid. Just let the energy take you where you need to be. So you might go to the left and hold for a moment. If you do, take a couple of breaths. And then it's almost like, okay, now it wants to go, oh, it's going even farther to the right. Okay, and then it may stop for a moment, take a breath. It may tip backwards a little bit to an angle. Okay, now in the process of this, all of your vertebrae in your neck are responding. So I mentioned atlas, but that's like I said, C1, but C2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 will also realign based on these movements. All right. So if your atlas is misaligned and you feel that go back in or have that awareness, and there's something else, you go on down to C2, 3 or 3, 4. And again, you just allow your body to do the work, the energy of life working through you, guiding you. And that's how easy it is sometimes. Now, there are, if you've had a car accident and some bad whiplash, there'll be some other things. It may align, but it may go back out in a day or two because of the trauma and tension and everything that's in there. So we will be going over that in a later class. But for right now, we just want to get your head on straight. All right. So like I said, just kind of continue with that for as long as you feel you need to, and let your body align itself. It's like when we try to control it is when it doesn't work so well. But you can just be relaxed and let it do its thing. All right. Now, who noticed sometimes there's a click and sometimes there's not. It's more about, do you notice your neck getting looser? All right. Does it feel a little less compressed? And who's got something they could share? Okay, come on. Who
It had,
noticed?
it had me moving in a spiral clockwise motion, as if my body needed to move, rotate a bit, even though I was still facing forward. It needed to spiral around to find the best position.
Okay, great. Yes, okay. So your body went ahead and went in motion, not just your neck. Okay,
Right.
perfect. You allowed your body to do what it needed to do.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? Notice more mobility.
So when I was going through the first part of aligning the atlas, I had sort of a crack in the back of my neck, like just a little, and then everything just settled.
Okay. All right. We like easy, right? I know chiropractors don't really like me, but teach everyone to adjust their own spine. We have a hard time keeping their business open. So,
I have a question, Aaron. And all this time, the energy is activated. So when we breathe, are we just inhaling and exhaling, but not through our hands and out through our feet?
it is good to keep a little of that awareness that the energy is coming in through the hands and out the feet. The energy can also come in through your crown and down through the body. So if you're doing something with your hands, especially like draining the energy out your palms and fingers, then we can refocus and just have that awareness of the energy coming in through the crown.
And what about if you want to focus on a specific area, like, you know, like your shoulder, if you still bring the energy in through your hands and up to your head, when do you focus on whatever part you're talking about? But I'm talking about my shoulder or the left side of my neck being tight. Do you stop and, like, I know sometimes you say breathe into it, but if you're inhaling the energy of life without stopping and you bring it through your arms and up to your head, do you focus on stopping at your shoulder or neck or wherever, or do you just focus in your mind? Or do you
mind.
focus your breath?
Okay, in your mind. And remember, as long as you have to set that intention, it's still going. You know, it's not like you have to have so much mental focus. Relax, relax, okay? And just allow rather than trying to do. So if I'm bringing it up into my shoulder from my hand, then I bring it up into my shoulder, and then I exhale it. It goes through all down through my body and out my feet. Okay.
Okay, but you don't have to, I don't know, stop the breath or focus on your shoulder. If that was your intention, then it's being worked on.
Correct.
Okay, I get it.
You got it.
I just wasn't sure if you did it on the inhale or the exhale specifically.
Okay. If your intention is there to inhale it to your shoulder and then release it on through the body and out the feet, you've already set that in motion.
Okay.
You're going to make it easy.
Okay, thank you.
And after a while, it's actually going to be effortless. In my experience, all I need to do is just speak to the EOL and say what I need or think what I need. And it just happens because the more you use it, the more it becomes a part of you and it just flows.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something that Dorothy, thank you, Dorothy, she had mentioned that that her center has always been a little bit to the left and she no longer feels that.
Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's inspiring. And then Laura had mentioned or asked a question about, is there something to do specifically for the second rib, or is it the same for the first?
All right. So for the second, third ribs and things like that, we don't usually have those going out of alignment. Those are more, I mean, if we've got whiplash and things like that, of course, they will go out of alignment. So we're going to go on down the spine. We're going to cover every vertebrae. All right, all the way down to your tailbone. All right, so now That's what you need to do, exactly that. So if we take that and we go from the cervical vertebrae, now we're going into thoracic. So you got T1 through T12. So T1, 2, 3 towards the upper part of the back, we start getting between the shoulder blades at T4, 5, 6, 7 area. And then we go on down to the lower ribs of the rib cage, but at the spine. So 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now, if you are misaligned up in those areas, one of the things, again, if you just let your body take over, you may find that you need to raise a shoulder and drop a shoulder. So in your spine, you start to move the vertebrae in a certain way. So one shoulder up, one shoulder down. So that kind of gets a little bit of a twist there in the spine. You may feel that one shoulder needs to come forward. Okay. And again, this is like in your mind's eye, maybe you will see my body needs to go into this position, or it needs to move. There will be times when you'll even feel that you need to get up and move. Okay. So got a ways to go, but we're getting there. So as you go on down your spine, we're looking at the same thing. When it's down there between the shoulder blades, you may feel that you need to take both shoulders all the way back gently, but then take one up and then go the other way and take one up and take the other one down. You may even need to rotate one that's down while the other one is up, or you need to rotate the up one. So you start working your spine intuitively based on what you are seeing in your mind's eye or feeling or knowing that this is what I need to do. All right. So let's everyone do that. Let's everyone kind of tune into T1 all the way down to T12. And go ahead and allow your body to move. So inhale, take the energy there. As I said earlier, this is what I did in the very beginning back in about 94 I did most of mine laying on a table, but it's the same thing. I needed to allow my body to go to the position it needed to. And if nothing is misaligned, putting yourself in the position will loosen muscles. It will take stress and tension out of these very same areas, even if it's not realigning anything. And that may be what you're looking for. How do I get the tension out of my back instead of align my back for some of you? As we are going through this, some of you can see are already much looser. And please comment whenever you're ready about what you are feeling, noticing, what shifted, changed in your spine or in your muscles.
I can feel like I'm breathing better through my nose. I didn't feel congested, but I think I was. And it's affected my sinuses in a good way.
All right. So one of the things with that is when your neck and back are tight and it pulling into the back of your head, because your nerves that feed the front of your face come from your cervical vertebrae area, you can take pressure off that and your sinuses will open. Great.
Had a lot of adjustment on the left side of my back where the old auto injury was, and a lot of snap, crackle, and pop. And when all that was released, I felt an adjustment on the right side. in the sacral area.
Okay.
Really good.
All right, great, thank you. Yes, so what we have going on up top there pulls all the way down to the sacral area. And of course, what we have going on in the sacrum pulls all the way up to the cervical area. So great. That's how the body works. It's all connected. All right. So let's go on down farther. So we're going to go down to the lower back. I have quite a few people that, you know, managed to, I'd say lower back. No, we're going to go to tailbone. So everyone visualize, feel, make sure that you're sitting square so that you're on your sits bones, and visualize and feel your tailbone, because sometimes the tailbone will be out of alignment, left or right. It'll be kind of tucked under or kind of straightened out and going out backwards. Sometimes it will even have a little bit of a twist or torque. And just ask the EOL to align your tailbone. No movement needed here. Just ask it to align your tailbone. All right, now with the tailbone, again, sometimes it'll be a little click as it goes into alignment. Sometimes you will actually feel your tailbone moving. You know, and sometimes it'll be a little quick movement and then it's like it went into alignment. Sometimes it'll be slower. All right, anyone quickly comment on what you notice with your tailbone?
I didn't notice anything with my tailbone, but I did notice like like I felt like a wave come over me, almost like a little nauseous and a pulsating feeling, like with the energy moving. That's what it felt like.
All right, so what that is, your tailbone is the pump for your craniosacral fluid going up to the spine. So when your tailbone goes into alignment, we typically will feel more energy movement throughout the whole spine. And sometimes the tailbone is connected to what's misaligned in the upper back and neck and your atlas. So sometimes we realign the tailbone first, and then the atlas goes in more easily. So it's all connected, but that feeling and that nausea is common when things go into alignment.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else feel a vibration or movement in the tailbone that they'd care to share? All right, then we will move on. Now we have the lower back. So the lower back, L1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the lower back, sometimes we need to rotate our bodies as far as we can to the left or right and just breathe. Sometimes we need to bend over a little bit, like taking our torso and putting it over, let's say, the right knee or over the left knee. And again, it's visualize and feel and allow your body to move into the position that it needs to. So in these positions, we're going to have a little stretch going on, and that stretch and loosening is what will allow the lower spine to go into alignment. So let's give that a try.
We had another comment about the experience from MJ. She said it felt like an invisible chiropractor touching her. I felt gentle magnetic pulls moving my head or my body to the side and lightly back and forth. Thank you.
All right. Because everyone's experiences can be quite different. We love the comments because it gives other people the idea that, okay, there's more than one way to feel this, because it's not going to be the same every time, you know. All right. All right. Feels like everyone has at least partial alignment. And matter of fact, when I ask, yes, that's pretty good for everyone. All right, so the next piece is that your pelvis can be a little tipped or on one side or the other. Your pelvis can be tipped forward, it can be tipped backwards as a whole. So as you're sitting up straight, ask the energy of life to align your pelvis and pubic bone and SI joints. That's all part of the same complex there of structure and muscle. So if you have some SI joint compression, of course, that would mean tension on that side. You'd probably already be aware of it. The pubic bone being misaligned may be a little different as far as awareness, but as things are going into alignment, you're looking for a loosening, maybe not so much of a click in the pelvis and sacrum and pubic bone, but you might feel things just moving underneath you, like you're getting almost like a gentle massage or a very, very gentle chiropractic adjustment. And the great thing is you're letting the energy do the work. But when everything goes back into alignment, one of the things that you may notice is it feels like your whole pelvis floor opens up and everything through there relaxes more because it's not under stress. All right, let's start getting some comments now on this pelvic alignment. And how many of you could actually feel things moving and adjusting?
I can.
Okay, and as I mentioned about the pelvic floor feeling more relaxed, how's that?
It's feeling a lot more relaxed and open. Like I felt an opening and a softening. Do you recognize my voice?
Yes, I do. How you doing, Sid?
I'm good.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Carol Ann is my sister, 14 lifetimes, so we still play the brother-sister role sometimes.
Yes. That's cool.
All right. Come on now. Who else is feeling that movement, feeling that opening?
I had a lot of relaxation at first down by my SI joints, like in my glutes. And as soon as that relaxed, right above the muscles, right above that started to relax. And that's where I tend to carry a lot of tension. And that was like this huge relief. Like my whole body relaxed because that relaxed. It was pretty neat.
Great,
Mm.
great. Thank you.
It's awesome.
So as we said earlier, the more you practice this, you can take 10, 15 minutes out of the day on any given day of the week, once a week, once every 2 weeks, or whenever you feel the need. And you can just align everything and start your day or end your day, just feeling great. All right. Anyone else before we got one more thing we want to add, but anyone else want to comment on that pelvic alignment?
I felt like things were just subtly aligning, but at one point it got uncomfortable, so I got up and stretched, and I felt much better.
Okay, great. And this is an example of what I was saying, that sometimes you will feel or know, I need to get up and actually walk around. Maybe I need to bend over. Maybe I need to do a full body, stretch side to side. And it's all about listening to your body. Great. Okay. Now, this one last thing is we got to decompress everything. So spine gets tight because we sit all the time, because the muscles are holding on to tension from old injuries. So as you're sitting up straight, think of a cord attached to the very top center of your head. And that cord is being pulled and your head is going up as your spine is being stretched and elongated. And we'll just ask the energy of life to decompress the spine. And with the decompression of the spine, again, you may feel little ripples in muscles that start to release tension. May find yourself yawning or sighing as the overall tension through the body is released. Things start to relax more. All right, so let's kind of get a little sharing in here before we end tonight. And how does that feel to have your spine a little elongated and relaxed?
That was really cool. And the pull up was almost immediate. And I felt my whole body just kind of rise up. And it was really neat to feel the actual pull. That was cool.
Great, great.
Awesome.
I feel taller.
We can all use that because, you know, they say we shrink as we get older. So I'd like to get that half-inch back.
Yeah.
So would I.
That's true.
I felt like it was some Rice Krispies as things were pulling up and aligning better.
Okay. Good.
So I just want to add one more thing. I discovered about 3 weeks ago, because I tend to talk to the EOL quite a bit and like to discover new things. So I wasn't, sometimes you don't know what to do first. Sometimes it's a tailbone, sometimes it's your atlas, or sometimes you don't know what's out, but you don't feel right. So what I started doing was saying out loud, for my highest good, put into alignment in the order that it needs to be for the highest good, and decompress. So I'm giving it to the energy of life healing process to do this for me. And what it felt like for my experience was it felt like I was literally being massaged. So that might feel like that for some of you, or it might take some time, but it helped me to do that. And I believe Erin started doing that also. It was pretty cool. Because in order to sometimes put things into alignment, it needs to relax your muscles. And so I literally could feel like my muscles being like massaged and relaxed. It's pretty wild. So I'm just kind of sharing this to inspire you, because the EOL like doesn't stop. It just keeps on going and giving more information and more knowledge, and it's just so fun. So I just hope that will inspire you to come back next month and to potentially, 2 months, 2 months, and to potentially look at our other classes and healings. We do have one for opening up the heart on Wednesday. It's only an hour, but we decided to do it because Valentine's coming up, and we know everyone's had an experience of either loss or pain or hurt or something, whatever the heart has experienced throughout our lifetimes, or potentially even in our mother's womb. We experience things even when our mother's womb, we don't even think about it, but it can affect our heart, whatever our parents went through. And then we also have a, let's see, our group healing is this Sunday, which is geared towards you, whatever you need for your highest good. Sometimes we do our group healings in person, but we set the intention, okay, we're going to do this and this. But what's nice about the group healing is a 2-part, it's 45 minutes on Sunday, it's remote, and you just chill out at home, and it just works for whatever you need. So it's body, mind, and spirit, and whatever's for your highest good.
The great thing about that is you don't even have to put your makeup on because you're not on.
So is that Wednesday tomorrow or next Wednesday?
Oh, that's
Tomorrow,
Oh, tomorrow.
no, it's wait,
Thursday.
sorry, Thursday, February
Thursday.
8th, 7 to 8. Thank you.
Thursday. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And check out, we have other classes. I just don't want to get into it, but just look on our site. They're pretty cool classes with pituitary, open your intuition, all that stuff. So just check it out online.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any comments about how you feel or
Questions or
questions? Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
you're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you've taught us and how good I feel.
Oh, that's so
great.
great. And that's our intention, is to bring light and to empower people to heal themselves. And I don't know, there's just so much more coming, so much more information coming that it's just, we can't put it out fast enough. But we're excited. We have like a energetic marijuana bracelet where we're working on for people who get, who have sickness, and they have
Nausea.
nausea and all kinds of things, and some other far out things that, I'm still like, wow, for, for the next year to come. So
You might say we are outside the box.
but a lot of that has to do with the energy of life healing process. And we're doing an Egyptian tour. I don't know if you folks know about that. Check that out on the website. But
Yeah. Yes, we've got the whole itinerary up, so you can look at what we'll be doing over a 16-day period. Going to be a lot of fun, going to be a lot of energy work and connecting with temples So we will be helping to identify what temples that you need, giving you activation codes and all kinds of things to use in the temple to maximize what you get from the trip.
That looks awesome.
Oh, let's see. I think I had some other folks say something. Can I repeat? What did you say at the beginning?
So
Oh.
I'm talking about the, like, what do you say when you start realigning?
Oh, I just say, well, in the order that it needs to be. So I say energy of life in the order that it needs to be for my highest good, bring my body into alignment and decompress. So sometimes it'll do the decompression first, sometimes it'll do it afterwards. But I mean, I'm there for about 20 minutes. So it's, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Hi, I'd just like to say I woke up from a nap last week and my left hip was so painful. I was hobbling around the rest of the night, but I've been using the technique since the last class, and it's been helping to improve the pain and get me walking again, which is
Oh,
really,
great.
so thank you so much.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Trish.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And just for some inspiration, MJ, I don't know if you read what she wrote earlier. I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but she's been doing EOL for about 3 to 4 months, pretty much every day. And she really has experienced some pretty awesome things in a very short period of time, but she's been very consistent with it. And I hope you get a chance to read that because it's pretty inspiring. Anyone else? Oh, you're welcome, Dorothy. She said, I feel amazing. My hips feel so much better. And the tingle is all over. Woohoo.
All right.
That's-
No salsa dancing. Don't throw them back out.
Oh yeah, that's happened before. One of his clients, he fixed them up. The next day he goes out skiing and so you wanna chill out,
I
about that.
really loved feeling my body respond when I asked.
Great.
So
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah, you always feel like you have a friend with you, so never feel lonely, I'm always like, I got the EOL with me. I'm not by myself. It's okay.
Thank you both so much.
All right. You are
Thank
So
you.
well, lots of love to
Thank
y'all.
you.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank
Ciao,
you.
ciao.
Good
See you
night.
in 2 months.
Okay.
Arrivederci.